Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Erik Ten Hag believes Marcus Rashford can score 20 goals this season to fire Manchester United to the title. So Marcus Rashford is Erik Ten Hag's main man. Don't forget, Marcus Rashford scored twice in Manchester United's 3-1 win against Arsenal at Old Trafford. Not so long ago, he said Manchester United are ready to hand Marcus Rashford a new 5-year deal. As a reward for his early season form. Rashford's current contract at Man United expires next year. There is an option of a further 12 months. At the moment, Rashford earns around £200,000 a week on his current contract. Rashford has been part of Manchester United for a long time. He came up our academy. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016, and since then he's gone to make over 300 appearances. But Rashford has been good this season, far superior to last season. He was poor last season, but at one point Rashford was out for like 2 months with that shoulder problem. He had to have an operation on his shoulder. Now, I want to give you some news regarding Anthony Martial. So, Anthony Martial blasts former managers Jose Mourinho and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Martial has recently spoke about how he was treated. Anthony Martial claims Ole Gunnar Solskjaer forced him to play through injury. Martial is out with injury at the moment. He's had a couple of injuries this season. Revert back to pre-season, he was in scintillating form. Last season, Martial was out on loan with Sevilla. Martial is under contract with Man United until 2024. Man United got Martial from Monaco back in 2015. I told you the best season Martial enjoyed was his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Martial's been at Manchester United for a good 7 years or so now. So that's the news on him. Next year, Manchester United are going to get rid of more players. I think we could sell Martial. I think Ronaldo will leave Manchester United next year. Ronaldo's already accepted that he'll be staying until January. Not so long ago it did mention that Erik Ten Hag expects Cristiano Ronaldo to stay at Man United. Ronaldo did start in Manchester United's 1-0 defeat to Real Sociedad. In that game, Ronaldo had a goal disallowed for offside. It was the first game Ronaldo had started since like early August. Man United do look far superior without Ronaldo in the team. I'll also put Harry Maguire into the equation as well. Ronaldo's contract at Man United expires next year. There is an option to extend for a further year. Man United re-signed Ronaldo last year from Juventus. He has been his second spell at Man United since he re-signed. He's got 18 goals in the Premier League. He has 24 goals in all competitions. Fred, I reckon he will be leaving the club next year. Fred is no longer one of Man United's first choice centre midfielders following the arrivals of Casemiro and Christian Eriksen. Fred did play in the game against Real Sociedad. He was playing alongside Casemiro and Christian Eriksen in midfield. Fred has played a lot of games alongside Scott McTominay in the centre midfield, and quite clearly they did not complement each other. Man United got Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk in a deal worth 50 million. Lindelof, I reckon that he's leaving next year. Lindelof is not one of our first choice centre-halves. He was no longer one of our first choice centre-halves when Manchester United signed Raphael Varane. Lindelof was out of injury earlier on this season. Had a few injuries as a United player. Man United got Lindelof from Benfica back in 2017 in a deal worth 31 million. So Lindelof's been at the club for around 5 years or so. He's under contract with Man United till 2024. Luke Shaw, I reckon that he could be on his way out next year because there's no way back now for Luke Shaw in the team because Terrell Malacia is Manchester United's first choice left back. Luke Shaw had a knock earlier on this season. He's injury prone, which is a concern. Shaw's been at Manchester United for a good 9 years or so now, so he has been a long-serving player. His contract at Man United expires next year. Harry Maguire, I reckon that he'll be leaving next year. Harry Maguire is no longer one of our first choice centre-halves following the arrival of Lisandro Martinez. Our first choice centre-halves are Martinez and Varane, and they do play very well together. Maguire did start in Man United's 1-0 defeat to Real Sociedad. It was the first game he'd started in a while. Man United overpaid for Maguire, got him for 80 million. Revert back to last season, the vast majority of Manchester United fans were demanding for the captaincy to be taken off Maguire. Phil Jones, he'll leave Manchester United next year. He's not one of our first choice centre-halves. At one point, Jones was out with a knee injury for a while. Jones' contract expires next year. Jones has been at Man United since the Ferguson era. He's enjoyed around 11 years so at the club, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Axel Tuanzebe, he'll leave Manchester United next year. Last season he was out on loan with Aston Villa. He's enjoyed like 4 loan spells with Villa. 3 loan spells. Brandon Williams, he'll leave next year. He isn't first choice, is he? Last season Brandon Williams was out on loan with Norwich. Next year Aaron Wan-Bissaka I think will be leaving the club. There's no way back for him in the team because Diego Dalot is Manchester United's first choice right back. To Dalot's credit, he's been really impressive this season. And Wan-Bissaka, he had a not so long ago. Manchester United got him from Crystal Palace back in 2019 in a deal worth 50 million. Bissaka most of the time's been good defensively, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. And I reckon Man United will get rid of Alex Telles permanently at the moment. Tellez is out on loan with Sevilla. Tellez endured a difficult time at Man United. Dean Henderson, I think we could get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan at the moment with Nottingham Forest. We got Amad Diallo Traore out on loan at Sunderland. No, he could go permanently. Man United got Amad Diallo Traore from Atalanta in a deal worth 37 million with add-ons included. And you've got Hannibal Mejbri out on loan with Birmingham City. So there you go. But, you know, we have seen a lot of players leave Manchester United this year. Obviously, we saw Edison Cavani leave on a free, while Mata left on a free. I heard that Mata's close to making a move to Galatasaray. Jesse Lingard left on a free. He went to Nottingham Forest. Matic left on a free. He went to Roma, so he's reuniting with Jose Mourinho. Earlier on this year, Pogba left Man United for the second time on a free transfer. Went back to Juventus. We saw Erik go out on loan to Marseille. Not so long ago, Erik accused Manchester United of favouring English players, and he also had a swipe at Harry Maguire. We did loan Tellez out to Sevilla, loaned Dean Henderson out to Nottingham Forest. Earlier on this year, Lee Grant left. You know, we loaned Amad Diallo Traore out to Sunderland. Loaned Hannibal Mejbri out. Man United, of course, sold James Garner. Man United sold Andres Pereira. And quite a few young players left, so there you go. Manchester United made 6 signings this year. Of course, we signed Terrell Malacia from Feyenoord. Signed Christian Eriksen on a free transfer. When Christian Eriksen officially signed, he signed a 3-year contract. Signed Lisandro Martinez from Ajax. We signed Casemiro from Real Madrid. Signed Antony from Ajax for around 86 million. Antony's Man United's second most expensive signing ever, and is the 4th most expensive signing in Premier League history. Antony did play against Solskjaer, weren't that good, but he did very well on his debut in the 3-1 win against Arsenal. He scored on his debut. And Man United signed Martin Dubravka on loan from Newcastle. A 2 million loan deal was agreed. There's an option to buy for around 5 or 6 million. Dubravka is a backup to number 1 David De Gea. This year, Manchester United have spent over 200 million. Obviously, Erik ten Hag, he's won 4 games as Manchester United manager and lost 3 games in all competitions so far. I do have a lot of faith in Ten Hag. I think he's going to do a good job at Manchester United. You know, Ten Hag is aware that he's got big expectations to exceed. Like I've said, Ten Hag's brought players in since he come. He's let players go. He is still inheriting Deadwood. You know, if Ten Hag this season was to get Man United a top 4 finish, you could underline that and say that's a good first season. If he was to win a trophy as well, that would be even better. You know, Man United have not won a domestic trophy since 2017, so we've got to get a trophy on the board this season. Ten Hag, he's under contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. Ten Hag replaced Ralph Rangnick earlier on this year. He is Man United's 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. You've got to admire what Ten Hag did when he was the Ajax manager, because when he was the Ajax manager, he won Eredivisie titles, he won some Dutch Cups, and revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals and developed the young players well. Before, Ten Hag's managed Utrecht, Bayern Munich's reserves and go-ahead Eagles. We've obviously got Mitchell van der Gag and Steve McLaren at the club. They're working alongside Erik Ten Hag. Erik Ten Hag was the one that recommended them in. We've got John Murtaugh at the club. He's our director of football. We've got Richard Arnold at the club. He's Man United's CEO. He replaced Ed Woodward, did Richard Arnold, when Ed Woodward resigned. We got Benny McCarthy at the club. Of course, the Glazers are still at Manchester United. We've got to get the Glazers out because they've been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. For a while now, United fans have been protesting against the Glazers. Quite a few weeks ago, it said the Glazers are open to selling a minority stake in Man United. It said the Glazers are open. It said the Glazers have set a 3.75 billion price on Man United, which could tempt interest from Dubai. There was rumours saying that Sir Jim Ratcliffe wanted to buy Man United. Elon Musk joked about buying the club earlier on this year, and he said that Michael Knighton was preparing a bid to buy the club from the Glazer family. But the Glazers, they've owned Man United since 2005, so they've owned the club now for around 17 years. And Sir Alex Ferguson, quite a few weeks ago now, came back to Manchester United in an advisory role. So there you go. Manchester United, don't forget, were supposed to be playing Crystal Palace today at Selhurst Park. But obviously the game got postponed following the Queen's death. Every game got postponed. The games will be postponed next week as well because it's the Queen's funeral. Man United was supposed to be playing Leeds next week, but these games will get rearranged. Not so long ago, Manchester United lost 1-0 to Real Sociedad at Old Trafford. It was the first time Real Sociedad had beaten Man United in their history. It was Man United's opening game of the group. We shouldn't have lost because Man United got robbed. It wasn't a penalty, Lisandro Martinez controversially got penalised for a handball. But we did win our last league game against Arsenal 3-1. Crystal Palace, they drew their last game with Newcastle 0-0. Don't forget Crystal Palace beat Manchester United 1-0 at Selhurst Park in the final game of last season, but Man United did beat Crystal Palace 1-0 at Old Trafford last season. That was Ralph Rangnick's first game in charge as Man United's interim manager. Crystal Palace manager is Patrick Vieira. Patrick Vieira is under contract with Crystal Palace until 2024. Patrick Vieira got appointed in as the Crystal Palace manager back in July 2021. So he has been the Crystal Palace manager for over a year. Before Crystal Palace, Patrick Vieira managed Nice in France, before managed New York City, and at one point he managed Manchester City's under-19s. Before Vieira, Palace had Roy Hodgson. Don't forget Roy Hodgson ended up leaving Palace, then he went to become the Watford manager. Like I've said, I do know quite a lot of players Palace have got. They've obviously got Wilfred Zaha. Wilfred Zaha is probably the best player Palace have got. He's a former Manchester United player. The reason Man United let him go is because he didn't, get enough opportunities. In fact, he was the last signing Sir Alex Ferguson made before he announced his retirement. Palace also have Odsonne Edouard. I think they got him from Celtic. They have John Philippe Mateta. Jordan Ayew, I think he's a very good attacking player. I rate him. Jeffrey Schlupp. Chris Richards, Crystal Palace signed him this year from Bayern Munich. Will Hughes. Nathan Ferguson. Nathan Ferguson's out with injury at the moment. James Tompkins has been out with injury. They've still got Joe Ward. James MacArthur, he's out with injury at the moment. Palace have Anderson, Tyrick Mitchell, Nathaniel Klein. Nathaniel Klein is a fullback. He's a former Liverpool and Southampton player. I do know two of the goalkeepers that Palace have got. They've got Jack Butland. Jack Butland's been out with injury, and they've got Sam Johnstone. Sam Johnstone is the former Manchester United goalkeeper, and he's the former West Brom goalkeeper as well. So there you go, a lot of the players Palace do have. Let me put into the equation that Crystal Palace lost Martin Kelly to West Brom. They loaned Robert Street out to Shrewsbury. They loaned Luke Plange out. And they let Christian Benteke go to DC United. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.